it just when I glanced at it there, it just really looked like it. What makes a player be on fire? I honestly have no idea. Something to do with some kind of a win streak, but I really don't know. Like, I've been trying to figure this out for over a season at this point, and I'm still unsure. As we get ourselves into our game number 7, Ace Match. Hey, we joined in the World Team League on the right day. Some awesome games today. It's been fun. Solar, top right, Percival, bottom left. This is Jagannatha. It's just the winter edition that the World Team League created for this season. So, here we go. How they decide which player plays at the Ace game? They can just pick. Like I say, they know the map and then they just pick, hey, we're going to send out this guy. So obviously it's a bit of a mind game. You know, trying to send out someone based on who you think your opponent might be sending out and stuff, etc. But there's no guarantee of knowing who it's going to be or anything. It is just not random, but like I say, it's a bit of a guessing game. It's a bit of strategy. So I'm intrigued to see what Percival brings out, because he knew he was going to be playing Jagannatha, and I imagine he knew he was likely going to end up against Solar. It's the most reliable choice as the spawning pool first comes down. Solar playing safe, because he's probably also wondering, why the hell would you send a Terran on Jagannatha? So he's kind of like, well, I'm going to spawn and pool first and make sure I just don't die to a proxy, because that's one of the more likely things to potentially happen here. So I imagine that is how we start, is I was going to see a few links coming up, a hatch and a gas coming through. Going to be seeing a reactor coming in as well, so nice quick reactor to get us going here on Jagannatha. And our first 6 links going across the map. It's interesting, because obviously they're taking a long route around as well to avoid a Reaper that hasn't actually been made. I actually overall like it for Percival. Just kind of getting set up. The reactor will give you a lot of unit production very quickly. That actually gives you a bit of a better chance than usual to deal with these 6 lings, I'd say. Than if your Reaper was like out of position right now or so. So 2 Marine 6 lings. You obviously still need probably a couple SCVs. You need to kite backwards. Percival sees it just in time. 1 ling peels back and jumps onto the command center. There, the SCVs we were talking about. And that is going to be the pushback for now. Solar just runs away. Didn't target fire that SCV on the low ground yet. It's going to get it now full surround. But obviously other SCVs here, so you continue building quickly. It's an SCV kill and some minor lost mining time. For the cost of the pool first, I'd say this is one of those setups which pretty much just cancels each other out, right? Don't think anyone's taking a crazy good position off the back of this. Don't think anyone's kind of yelling like, hell yeah, look at what we got done here. Or anything along those lines. Let's just, again, get ourselves up and running. Link speed coming through. A couple Hellions coming up. And starport on the way from Percival as well. I'm intrigued to see what the next step of this is going to be. You have a reactor opening, so you have a few Marines early. So sometimes that opens up the Hellbat possibility. It is, of course, not a guarantee, though. Armory is on the way. Yeah, I think it makes sense kind of based on what we're ACing and kind of the initial setup as well. Don't think it's all too surprising what we're going to end up trying to help at here. But the Bane Nest already coming down, so that's nice and safe. Gonna see a medevac coming up around the side. Overlord just hanging out overhead. Just gonna be seeing the factory lifting off the reactor. Ling Bane in production. I mean, this really should just be a shutdown pretty easily. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Hellions morph into Hellbats. 3rd CC starts behind this, but Solar is so well prepped for this. I just feel like it's obvious, right? You're playing Jagannatha on a TVZ. Oh my god, the Banelings just kind of crash on in initially as well. That ain't pretty. Next Banelin at least goes off on just 1 Hellbat. Nice pullback on the medevac, but it's just not going to be enough. You do keep the medevac alive, and that's a nice little something at the end. In fact, you keep a fair few units alive. So that is something, at least, towards the end of all this. But, yeah. For the moment, that will be that. Those Overlord's just going to go down as well. Just going to be seeing our... Well, a couple of barracks and a couple of engineering bays continuing up from Percival at home, but this is not the start you want to play on. You're just going to be seeing a lair coming through here from Solar, so getting going with that lair. I mean, now he can just tech up freely, drone up freely as well. He cut workers to really make that a thing, right? So yeah, he cut workers to really make that a thing. Let's just get ourselves up and going. And now just, again, you kind of just buy yourself the freedom by defending this so well. You put yourself into a great setup for the future. That's exactly where we go right now, is just going to see if your Ling's going to hit the front. Hey, that depot might actually go down. It needs to be repaired, genuinely. One SCV pulls. It buys just enough time for the other SCVs to get there. The depot on the top side's going to die. Oh, a nice reaction. Builds an engineering bay behind it, and there's a few Marines spawn. It's just not worth sticking around there, but that was dangerous, right? Like, that's the sort of thing which can really spiral a little bit out of control. Whew. Scary. Hey, thank you as well, Stealth Vapor, getting gifted a sub from Mr. Anonymous or Mrs. Anonymous. And LogKey175 on the 22-month resub on the Prime as well. Thank you so much for your generosity and all of those months of Prime resubscribing. I really appreciate it. So just getting up to a 4th base. Drilling claws very quickly here from Percival. I don't hate that. Double factory quickly, getting a super fast drilling claws. Maybe just try and Widowmine your drop yourself back into this game. I can see that working out. I can see that being a thing. Absolutely, as you just see our medevac flying out over to the far right. So away we go. The melee upgrade's coming through. So I see a few Marines just going to pick away at a Zergling. Obviously, you see this medevac coming in, but you don't necessarily know it's drilling claws, right? So sometimes even reacting quickly here is not going to be quick enough. As Solar... Okay, well, that's just no reaction at all, and that's 9 dead drones immediately. Obviously, now there's more Widow Mines available, and that's going to burrow, and the drones are still stacking. Boom, boom, 21 dead drones. Percival just did some serious damage output, guys. That's massive. Percival gets a couple more Lings over on this side. Percival's up 30 supply, by the way. If Percival gets pushing right now, this could be amazing because Solar's preoccupied rebuilding the workers he just lost out on. And on top of that, Percival might just be able to push, and there's a massive army supply deficit for Solar. Percival, can he do this with Team GP? Maybe. It's absolutely a possibility. Uh-oh. The only thing that I might say is a negative is maybe you get too caught up in these Widow Mine drops and you keep doing them rather than just getting the big push going. But he is starting to move out. Percival's got a good setup right now. Oh, this is terrifying for Solar. That's a lot of Marines, couple of Widow Mines supporting the army as well. Here we go. Gonna just stim on the creep. Banelings, 10 morphing now, and there's a few ready. This first Widow Mine didn't go off. I don't know how. Felt like it was in range of stuff for ages, but sometimes that's just how the Widow Mines work. More Widow Mines going off in the mineral line, 12 o'clock. That's where some of these drone kills are coming from. As again, I think the only issue right now really is just making sure you actually have the overall push to actually close this out, because the more Widow Mines you send here and there is the less you have for your main army, right? So you want to make sure you find a good mix of being able to harass and slow down the worker production, but also really putting yourself in a position where you have an army that can genuinely push and end the game as well, which I do think is the bigger problem at the moment. Hive on the way now from Solar. He is stepping towards a better and better position here. Already going to be seeing the Ghost Academy on the way from Percival, though, so happy to enter the Ghost phase of the game against Lurkers. Very happy to be moving in that direction as the medevac lifts up another 4 Widow Mines, and we'll be heading out down to the bottom side of the map. Here comes a triple drop in the main. I mean, the Widow Mine drop is in the same sort of direction. I like the triple drop in the main. It's actually cool. He's got that left side push coming as well. He's going to lift up, maybe drop low ground. There's a medevac that's low, though. Widow Mine's going to drop in on top of this as the drones maybe pull away from the drop. Well, they just didn't pull at all. And these Marines now going to kill a few queens. And you get the top left base, perhaps. Percival paying attention. Lifts up. Just evacuates that one medevac. Top left, how's that going? Looks like some Widow Mines helped clean out. 17 workers dead again, as Solo's economy all game long is being ripped apart by these Widow Mines. We are going to be seeing Vipers on the way through again. Lurgaden was made. Not seeing much activity from them. Meanwhile, comfortably at home, Percival just sits on 4 bases, not really too worried about this at all. Lingbane still just getting set up as we come through. Marine's going to pick off a creep tumor. But the tank just sieging up here and just going to go forward as Lingbane. Actually, I love that we've got tanks here now as well. Going to take this position nicely. First lurker on the way, I believe, from Solo, but only one's not going to be a game changer. More bio in this speed zone. That's going to help the Zerg now, though, having the speed zone to get on top of those units. That's the only downside about this position of the Terran, is that working on the speed zone actually helps the Zerg actually fight you. So that kind of, you know, is a little bit backwards from what you want to be achieving, perhaps. Still keeping up the pressure, though, as, again, first lurkers out. I mean, that's where you obviously get ghosts up, or even in this case, a few liberators will go a long way as well. Especially when you're kind of like just trying to push into positions like this. Liberators can do a lot for you. So we're kind of heading toward that right now. The tank showing up here. Come on, first ghosts. I was going to say maybe the Vipers were a target, and he does snipe one of them. The ghosts don't have to scan there for a moment. Now we'll snipe down the first lurker. Lingbane, some of it on the counterattack across the map as well. We do snipe down the other lurkers here. Percival maxed out, playing a great game at the moment here against Sula, looking to give Team GP a big victory in the ace match against Kaizi Gaming. Counterattack of Zerglings will find, I mean, a siege tank and a few Marines. Into the mineral line we go. Bio units are going to start showing up. Sula realizing he just needs to take the attention away from himself for a moment and give himself a bit of an opportunity, perhaps, to just stabilize here, as Ghost's going to line up on lurkers that aren't even sieged up or burrowed yet. I mean, Bio just going to jump on top of those as well. It's always going to be an alright kind of trade. Never the prettiest, but never the worst. It's going to scan again, as and this position is proving difficult for Solo to truly break. I was a little bit worried the first time we saw that acceleration zone in use, but he's not even gotten to step into the acceleration zone lately, so it's just not really been going anywhere for him. Bio cleans out a little bit more creep spread. Lurkers trying to step forward a little bit. Bio army moving around here and there. A couple of Banes going down as Widow Mines are connecting. I mean, Soul's getting more and more lurkers up. Percival's had a reasonable setup for a while. 3-3 didn't start for a long time. Maybe it was just prioritizing some of the tech. As he sniped down some queens over here again, just trying to get whatever he can. Solo will max out, though, maybe giving him a better chance than what we've seen previously. I was going to see our medevacs boosting back towards the speed zone. Our lurker's just going to unburrow, go elsewhere. We scan a couple creep tumors going down on the right side. That hatchery in trouble. Flings, Banes, lurkers continue to move through here. The ghosts continue to pull back as well. I mean, these lurkers really jump on this again. That speed zone definitely going to be helping Soul again to position here. But on the turnaround, I mean, now these ghosts can get in range of a bunch of lurkers as well. We see at least one more lurker up here. We walk into the lurkers. We just drop an EMP there. Not sure if it was a Viper or if that was just like he was trying to EMP to reveal almost. Not sure what that was, but I'm not sure if it was necessarily intentional. Just going to be seeing our Lingbane lurker continue to reproduce. Percival up at 180 supply against the 160. Still has a supply lead. Has done pretty much all game long. Gonna find this right side base. Deny that of Stoll. Obviously, Stoll has just not had anything. He had like one little run by that hit the left side base. And that was about it. Over here, Widow Mine's just getting a couple of shots off as he deals some damage. The medevac that was dropping them gets taken down. These Widow Mines just setting up to make sure these drones don't get out alive as well. That's brutal. I like just leaving a couple Widow Mines behind. It's so frustrating to play against mines that are just left behind and you can say forgotten about, but they really do a lot of the time pick up damage because of it. So, yeah, mine's looking good across the board as we continue around. On the left, just going to be seeing the Medevac here taking a bit more damage. I mean, it's the big push up the left side now from Percival that's really looking to deal damage. I mean, we're at such a good ghost count. That's the problem, that each and every time we're trying to fight here is Solar. They're just up against so many ghosts. They're able to do so well. Here we go. If these Banes can connect, as the split backs were decent initially, now we need to get these snipes on these lurkers. A lot of them get into position. Full Widow Line's getting set up a bit further back. Percival still just about coming out ahead overall. Another snipe. A lot of Hydras here. Maybe want to try typing down a few Hydras, just taking those out of the equation a little bit. Just going to see our Bioforce still set up in the center, over to the right-hand side, making a bit of a push. Feelings will start to go down, and I mean, this is just the turnaround maybe of position that you need. He's got the scan in the center, and that scan's beautiful because it's kind of telling him, hey, where are your reinforcements coming from? Are they moving over? And that could maybe tell you where you needed to send units to. He's sending the ghosts back over this way. The lurkers are making a move down the left side. The ghosts are going to be in a weird place. I think the idea was the ghosts were going to try and snipe the lurkers that were over here, but now these lurkers are over here instead. We are just going to scan them. We are going to snipe them. And that's all these lurkers dealt with. So either way, it worked out in the end for Percival. He gets 2 more as well. Solar really cannot catch a break. I love Percival's army movement. He's moving his army in a really fantastic way. He is honestly playing a fantastic late game here. I know he's had the advantage pretty much throughout, but he's kept that advantage wonderfully. A lot of the time you will see it because, you know, a setup like this is absolutely falling apart. Lurkers are being sniped by the dozen, honestly. They just keep on dropping, and right now there's barely lurkers left alive. 3 in production, Solo on 150 supply. We snipe another one, 3 remaining top left. They might be the only 3 on the map still. And Percival, you know what's really cool? It really shows what you can do on Jagannatha. Using these acceleration zones to work from the left side to the right side a little bit more quickly than usual. I mean, this base is just dead. Solo does not have the numbers anymore to keep this going over here. That's going to be seeing a lurker trying to get us position, but it gets sniped down. Man, Percival just has too much. These Lings and Banes won't do much. I mean, the base goes down, so he doesn't need to press the issue necessarily. Counterattack from Solo, bottom left. A few drones are already dropping somewhere as well. This counterattack won't do much because, quite frankly, there's just enough ghosts at home, and that's just kind of credit to how much Percival is able to get done with so little across the map. I'm just going to be seeing pushing up this left-hand side, chasing down for Hydra. I mean, there's just basic units now, right? I mean, can Ling Bane Hydra basically get the job done here? Probably not. We don't have enough lurkers. 3 more starting to morph in. I mean, we really are on the verge of a fight here, which is going to send Team GP to a victory in the ace match against Kaizi Gaming. Another win for them in this season. He drops the mules as well. Wow, Percival baiting a little bit as he gets the win. Team GP. Solar slams the desk. Percival gets the victory. And Team GP, oh my goodness, from bottom of the league last season to actual contenders this time around, Percival gets the job done. And my goodness, Team GP